Hey there, it's Nazreen from the Golden Nuggets podcast. If you guys are a business owner, consultant, coaches, experts, or self-employed professionals looking to grow your reach, I would like to introduce to you the Podium. It is our flagship podcast where we feature professionals just like you to share your story, to promote your business, and connect with a broader audience in the podcast space. So far, we have successfully completed 10 episodes featuring incredible guests, and the feedback has been awesome. And for a limited time offer, previously we charged for $250. We raised it slightly higher. Right now it's at $300 per episode. It is a 70% discount from our original price. This includes not only being featured in the podcast, but also gaining content to promote your business and credibility that comes with it. If you've been considering to be part of a podcast, now is your chance. Don't miss out this opportunity to amplify your message, reach to new audience, and stand out within your industry. I look forward to see you in the Podium, and let's share your story.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Golden Nuggets podcast. This is part 2 with Luqman from SatayBoy.
Alright, so Luqman,
Yes.
maybe we can start this second part with perhaps the earlier challenges that you actually have during when you started SatayBoy.
Okay, earlier, I think a lot of the support, the belief, everybody didn't want me to do it. Yeah, my parents didn't like that I was doing it. Nobody, I mean, as much as they didn't like it, was only because it was very tough. And they wanted to shelter me.
Yeah.
Little did they know that tough is just something that I'm very used to. You know, in terms, not I live a sheltered life, right? I said to you, but my kind of tough is that tough love kind of thing. So I'm very used to that rejection. So if you're just going to tell me that you're not going to support me doing something I do, then you have to do more in order to bring me down. I'm sorry. You know, so I just went forward for it. I just went ahead. And my whole concept of trying to move forward with it was the purpose. The purpose was that I know there are so many satay sellers at that time. Right?
Yeah.
Who want to buy from you?
Yeah.
Right. And at that point of time, there was like Fatman Satay, Harun Satay, Satay Solo, whatever, all these people are. I've never even done satay club before, and then suddenly I want to open a business selling satay. For what reason, man? Right? But my purpose was that I saw a gap, and I wanted to translate this for everyone, not for me, for the whole satay community, to bring it to a social media platform. I could say probably I was the first one to bring it on a social media platform. So, yeah, so basically the challenge I had on the start from before anything was that belief system. Nobody believed that I could do it, or nobody wanted. Okay, I guess my parents believed that I could do it, but they purposely withheld the support at the start so that I felt alone and gave up.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's partly because they've been through the whole process, and then it's so crazy, it's so tough.
Yes.
And
Yes.
okay.
My parents were very, the way they do things is like, if I don't want you to do something, right, I'll just show you the least amount of support. You know, it's up to you to be the gale.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
But I mean, entrepreneurs, businessmen, we are all the gale.
The gale.
Yeah.
The gale. Yeah, we're very stubborn people.
You throw us a problem, we'll solve that problem.
Yeah. That is definitely what makes a business man. You know, it's very important to have this within yourself. You cannot let things stop you from moving forward. If it does stop you, then it shows how much of a businessman you are. Yeah, you want to do well.
But I mean, you mentioned that your parents sheltered you from this business as a whole, right? But for you, when you started out, how do you eventually start to have your own stock? Do you like pre-made it by yourself? Recipe comes from where?
Yeah, I didn't get any of that from my dad. Okay, by the time
even recipe is not from your family.
Bro, zero. Nothing.
Okay.
Not even the skill to start a fire, bro. Not even there. Not even that. Not even that. Not even close. So I was, like I said, I was sheltered to the point where they didn't want me to know anything about the business, so that I will not be itchy finger to try.
Okay.
But itchy. Very itchy. So I do lah. I didn't know how to do satay. I tried to ask my dad. My dad told me, okay, he's a storyteller, so he tell you story. Story lah. Practical tak ada story. So you never know how actually it's done. Never know. He tried to show me a few times, but by that time he was already at the age where it wasn't exactly what that kind of recipe that made him successful.
Okay.
It's not his fault, because there was a point of time that they were doing their own satay. It was a very small scale thing. And then the business suddenly exploded, and they decided to take from suppliers instead.
Okay.
So they had two or three suppliers to make sure that there was enough for him to sell. And then he no longer was doing it. And then slowly, if you don't do it, you don't cakap my father umur at that age maybe 60, 70 at that age dah lupa. I've not been doing my satay myself for the past 6 months. And I went back into the kitchen and I wanted to try to do it again. I was lost, bro. I was lost. I know the basis of everything, but I didn't know how to do it.
The fingers just don't want to work as how it's supposed to.
Yeah, it's just macam you want a gaul. You know the meat cut is like that. Then I have to call my staff. Hey, how much turmeric to put inside? Like that kind of stuff. You see. You know, because I'm focused on something else right now.
Now you're working on the business.
Right? Exactly. And that was a whole reason why I had to remove myself, because the business cannot grow with me within. I have to be somewhere else. So that was basically. So basically my father didn't hand me anything. I had to learn satay by myself. Thankfully, so this very funny story, how I got about to have my partners also lah. So one of my partners used to supply chicken to me when I was starting off, and he eventually became my partner after a long time lah. And that was, it's so weird. Like I think prior to the podcast we had this conversation where I don't have a lot of belief in my own business. In terms, I believe my business, but I don't have this macam when people tell me, hey, SatayBoy is popular, or hey, good, you know, they look at us a certain way. Our people, I guess from day one I didn't want to let it go to my head. So that's the reason why I never felt like it was anything important to bother about, because once that goes to your head, then your focus runs. So you have to have that. You have to ground yourself lah. You know, as much as I know we have the amount of followers and whatnot, I see it. I'm proud of it, but I don't feel a certain way about it. So my partners believe in the business technically more than I do. Okay. Right. So one of them said, hey, man, the company supplying satay to me just dissolved lah. Right. So I found an old man who decided to help me with making satay. He knew I couldn't do any more satay after this, because the supplier dah tak ada, no more already. So he came up to me, taught me the whole thing. He taught me the whole thing. And it wasn't like, hey, you go and I teach you, then tomorrow you come again same time. It was not it's not Mr. Miyagi stuff, okay? No. Okay? It was, I teach you, and then after that I took down everything. Next week he fell down and he forgot everything. Legit, I'm not making this up. He fell down and he forgot everything.
This is your partner?
This is this pakcik.
The pakcik.
Oh, okay.
Right? So then I have the one supplying me chicken. He said, hey, you know how to do, right? Okay lah. Then all these customers, all the company bankrupt, right? All these customers waiting. We do lah. So we do lah. Okay. But priority is SatayBoy lah, because I have to earn a living. So we did the satay. We pushed forward. And then I after a while I realized, how do we get this old man rewarded for helping us, for helping me? So that was like, dia ada anak, and I've known this old man for the longest time, and he's been so proud of his son, telling good stories about his son and everything. And this guy is a corporate guy lah. So I told him, his name is Ridwan. Wan, come lah, you join us. We split this sui. No, we don't talk about like who gets more percentage. We need to rope you in, put together the thing. That's only fair. But at least the success of whatever we're having now is going to go back to the old man in his son lah. Yeah, but it wasn't immediate. You know, he was.
Oh, so that means one of your partner is the son of that guy.
Of the uncle, yeah.
Okay.
You pull the son in lah.
Okay.
I do business with, how do I say, just a bit more, macam very morally. I have to do it that way.
Yeah.
I know. My parents hate the whole idea of having partners. It's yours, what? your butt off from day one. Why you give other people? I know that my wife keep telling me you cannot grow this with your mind, no? Because your mind is just
limited.
Yeah. And I'm set in my ways. Right? I think this one cannot be done. Nobody's gonna tell me anything else. My workers are not gonna come to me and say, "Hey, no, we have to do it this way." I'm gonna tell him, "God, you diam. This is my company." You know, but your partners, when they say something, you have to listen lah. And they will push me until, you know, that level where so don't be afraid of having partners lah. I'm not saying that you can, if you know you cannot do it yourself, then you have to have people to do it with you. Like-minded people. It's not as if every single problem comes out, you take another partner. Then this problem comes out, you take another partner. It doesn't work that way lah. But you have to have the right people within the business to push the thing across the road. If you really have that strong belief that you can do it alone, then you're one of those entrepreneurs like Cristiano Ronaldo who created a brand on his own. Right? But how many Cristiano Ronaldos are there out there? You know, how many Tiger Woods are there? It's not.
How do you find the right people though?
As your partners, especially.
To be honest, right, if you start doing work with heart, right, and you can get you know, you can get it wrong lah. You still can get it wrong. I've had partners where that partner was not wrong. I was in the wrong, and then she left. I was in the wrong, and she left. It's not as if, you know. Then, sometimes it's not like a fixed thing that you can get good partners. But you have a good lead of people lah. Then sooner or later sometimes you separate with your partners because of money. Sometimes you separate your partners because of ideas. You know, it's not a proven thing that you have. If you follow criteria A to Z, you will get good partner. You know, I'm a human. I make mistakes, as so are your partners. You know,
but it's good because sometimes people will put the blame on partners, not realizing that they are the bad partner.
See, so the ego has to be put aside. So when I was younger, of course I would say it was not my fault. Right? But growing older, you realize you reach to that point where you need to, you've wronged someone, you have to apologize. You know, I have to say, as a businessman, I've seen people. Ryan Angler, as an example. Ryan Angler, he's an angler in Singapore who has so many followers, and he has his own brand of jigs for fishing. When he was starting off fishing, I was already fishing, and he was asking me for spots.
Okay.
I didn't want to share with him my spots because it's my spot, what? Right, so he was new. I was like, "Hey, can you show me where you cut that fish?" No, I totally replied the message. And then after a while, he got very established as a fisherman. I felt so bad. Called him up, and I told him, "I'm sorry that I did that to you. The whole world doesn't need to know that I did that to you. I did that to you. So I'm very sorry about that. I'm very happy that you are successful, and I just hope you can forgive me for doing that to you. I know that what I did, it was bad, but it wouldn't affect his trajectory, or probably it pushed him out. Oh, you don't want to let me, I do myself. You know, you never know lah, right? But as far as I'm concerned, he is one of the few people that I called up, and you know, that the ego put aside and say sorry lah. I think more people should do this. Because when you are young, sometimes you feel like rezeki is based on people's hands. People. You grow older, you realize nothing to do with people. Right, you know. So so then you realize, babe, kau selfish last time. You know. So let it be more open lah. But I'm not saying that. Guys, I'm not saying that when you have an idea, openly say it. This is not what I'm advocating. You have something, do it well. If the idea is good for someone to earn money, then let it be. Like you created this idea and then the person copy. Let the person copy. Don't be angry. Because if the person can earn money from your idea, you get berkah. Right? So it's not tangible lah, but it's berkah. Right? But anger lah, macam you take the time and then kau do market study and then people want to buy. Okay, let's just give an example, the kunafa thing that's going on, right? One person did, everybody did. Did they copy? Yeah, copy. But it's because it's business. Is it because this business want to go and kill the other business? I don't think so. It was just, I need to make money. That's it.
And the pie is huge enough for everybody.
Exactly. So that's the part where everybody needs to understand there is no point trying to be like, hey, you copy mine or whatever. No need. Focus on yourself.
Yeah.
You know how hard it was to accept when people say, hey, people copy you, that's a form of flattery. Doesn't feel like it from me, man. Bro. You cannot tell me that is. No, man. No. I worked hard to get the idea done.
Yeah.
You know, so then you tend to know, okay, certain things kau jangan tunjuk. Okay, so the thing about right now, for entrepreneurs who are looking at this video right now, I don't want you guys to be so much into the stream of, I need to show you how I do my business from in and out. There's a lot of this going on.
Yeah.
And then they don't realize it, but the longevity of that particular business doesn't happen because after a while people replicate. People are watching, people replicate. No, nobody's going to call you and say, I'm going to take step one from you, you know. I'm going to, you know.
That's true.
Nobody.
And those people who actually do say that to you, right? They are very honorable.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, right. So they're just going to do it. And then they're going to do it. And after a few years, whatever that you felt, you don't realize. But then you're going to see your sales drop. You're going to see people not really relating to you as much because there's more of this going on. And then everything that is special about that thing is already going down. You know, and people don't realize it. In the entrepreneurship world right now, the trend is to always show the inner workings.
Yeah.
You know? But there are certain things you have to keep to yourself.
Yeah, true.
It's very important.
Yeah.
You know, certain things, like if McDonald's opened their doors and showed everybody how they did things, come on, you know.
Recipe.
This is how it is. You know, their workers are there. A lot of them already started to go and post how they do their burgers and whatnot, right? But they're still around, right?
Yeah. I mean, because like their food itself, it comes from a central kitchen, so at least that part is protected.
I guess you know your processes and whatnot. So you don't have to, like I say again, you don't have to open up everything. Open the interesting parts. You know, empower people, but there are ways to empower people lah. Don't always macam, hey, if I show this right, then when people see, then they can do for themselves and everything. You know, then you sit down and you realize, you know, the concept of Allah gives everything. But you you realize, what have I done? You know. So that's that part you need to be careful lah. My wife always advised me because she always say like, you're too kind. You always want to share. When somebody asks, like, you're always very ready to tell them this is how it's done. But you cannot always tell them how it's done. My partner also tell me, man, kau tak boleh macam gini. You cannot.
You can tell, but not everything.
Not everything. You can tell, but not everything. That's what they say. So I'm too kind to the fact that I believe solely that I tell also Allah will give to me. I do believe that lah. Everybody should believe that there is a line.
Yes, there should be the balance.
Yeah, there should be a line.
I mean, there are, like, for example, I one of my clients that I'm handling for Reka lah, the social media agency, is a education institution.
Okay.
And they teach people. They teach like educators, people who are going to be educators, and they advise them that, hey, when you are ready, you get this accreditation or whatever, you learn everything from us, start your own. It's okay, it's fine, but don't worry about us. We'll have our own customers.
I guess
so, like, for example, for that one is really the intangible, looking for the barakah.
Of course.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, even if like you don't show, and then there are YouTube videos people who's actually showing. Right. For example, I just watched this video whereby this lady was showing how to start a business and make products in 10 hours. And then in 10 hours, she got her first sale, even though it was only $5. Right. And at the end of the month, she was making like about $1,200 from that 10 hours worth of work. So where do you stand on this? Like, not showing the work, right? And then at the same time, like, showing the work.
So I have this clear understanding of how and what is divulged, what is not. So my view on all of this is that I want to empower our Malay community to do satay. I don't outright do a YouTube video telling you that you are this is how to do satay. So then you do . So I instead want to create a course, same as when chefs go to Satay and whatnot.
Understand.
So I wanna so just something for you to think. Steak was done by a barbarian a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? A long time ago. he didn't have any training. Just did it, and he felt like, okay. Then after a while, the English people decided to put it and sear it, and wow, then they started to time it, and then it became more technical. And sooner or later, you get people accredited as a steak chef or a chef who knows how to do steaks. Hainanese chicken rice was just some uncle who provided chicken rice in whatever province, and he was doing it for his family, and it was nice. So his family say, "Hey, you open shop lah," and somebody open shop.
And the neighbors started trying.
Then you in Hainan, right? So Hainanese chicken rice, and then now Hainanese chicken rice is in Singapore, and people make, and then there are people accredited to be chicken rice chefs.
Yeah.
Really got like they really have the certification or that you, because they train from somewhere, and then I was 2 years in this shop, that's why I've done this. Satay no bro. Malay community, we don't have this.
And you want to do that lah?
I want to do that. I want to have a central area where we can accredit our grillers. Then they can be recognized. That's the pitmaster thing. Because everybody looks at this job down, macam people like, you help bakar satay Then they immediately know you, because I was asked a question a long time ago, and we're not talking about people like Jumain Satay, big corporation talking about selling satay. When was the last time you saw somebody selling satay and they can drive a Mercedes-Benz or a very expensive Porsche car? I think back, tak ada babe. Bukan like that was asked of me a long time ago lah. Like, tak ada lah. Very weird, very interesting question, but I realised what have we done for our own community to say that this is a line of work that is worth telling your wife salam, tell your children salam, you go to work, and then this is, I'm proud to do this, and then things are very expensive, and rumah is not like the last time price. So if you're gonna still live on that kind of money that people are paying satay grillers, you cannot provide for your family. 100% tak boleh. You cannot be a good leader. You'll be taking 2 or 3 jobs just to make sure your children are on par with the rest of your family having that kind of enjoyment. So if we don't start to accredit, there is a gigantic fear in the satay community that when people are accredited for grilling satay, the price of the satay will go up. And people, because of the fact that bosses will have to pay more, and then you're talking about berapa sen item.
Yes.
So how does it work? How you gonna pay $2 for a steak or satay? You know, you cannot just pay more and then you suddenly you don't get. What I'm trying to say is basically people don't take this so easily, because the bosses already find it very difficult to earn from the cents. You know. And then you know that when they sell satay at East Coast Lagoon, when it rains, forget about selling anything. That day your sales is done. You know, it's not as simple as what you might imagine. It's susah, babe. So how difficult that kind of community, all of us, if we don't empower our people to be accredited and paid correctly, it has a good effect in the long run. But who pays for it lah, kan? Consumer lah. Consumer have to pay for it. It's so weird that people can pay so much for yakitori. That is skill.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing.
I wanted to bring that out at a later point, but since you really say,
yakitori is skill lah. They have videos of them literally deboning chicken and then twisting the meat and going blah 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 blah, and then but they put the teriyaki sauce as it goes.
Yes.
Okay, so the process of making satay is I have to take a piece of meat, I have to cut it down, I have to move all the sinew and blah blah blah, and I have to put it with all the spices, and these spices are dry spices, wet spices. Put it together with the right amount of sugar and blah blah blah. Put it together and let it sit. These are big pieces of meat. One big block, cut, then mix. After mix, let it sit. After let it sit a few days, cut, then skewer. The process of skewering will cost you a backache. And the people who do this paid 6 cents, 4 cents per stick. So in order to make maybe $2,000, they have to go through at least 15,000 sticks. It's a lot, no? Back-breaking work, no? On the backs of who? Right, so then you're doing it. It is the same kind of concept of people who like macam say, Nike does or maybe this brand does on the backs of children.
Yeah.
You know? But then somehow or other you look at it in a way where, but the structure is in such a point where if they don't take things cheap in that manner, they don't have a big corporation, the corporation doesn't do advertisements, and then you don't, so how? True. Right. Yeah. So I'm in a dilemma. My satay is right now is $1.30.
Okay.
This is very expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the reason the reason why it's $1.30 is because I need to do a proper structure for the longevity of the business.
Okay.
I need to have money for customer recovery, advertising.
Yeah.
If you're only selling satay based on that berapa cent, saying that that's enough to pay the bills, yes lah.
Yeah.
But when somebody like this morning, I had a customer that had to be refunded fully for her bill because I believe that the experience should be, I give you a good experience or I don't. If I don't, you take back your money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my view is that when you do that, you're gonna come out from which pocket, whose pocket? Is the business sustainable?
Oh,
right. When you want to do things for customers, macam how people, big companies like, I give you one to one exchange. They can do that because they have money to spare.
Yeah.
You know, you don't. It's not like macam. That's so. I'm not. It's not as if I'm selling $1.30 so that I can buy a Porsche as soon as possible.
Yeah.
That's not the case. It's a proper structure, and I feel, if you ask me personally, I don't want to sell it $1.30. I feel it should be sold at $2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just about to ask you just now, since you brought up the topic of yakitori, right? Yakitori is, so I think right now at least because I've seen like $5.90, $5.80, $6, but now at least probably around $3+, $3.50 somewhere there, right? What's the difference between those chicken skewer from yakitori and chicken satay?
Not taking anything away from their skill lah.
Yeah,
they are skilled people lah.
Yeah.
They're very skilled people. But I mean, there is a lot of work that is going into making a steak or satay.
I think yakitori, the process of doing it is much simpler in the sense that you don't have to let it sit like you mentioned.
It's more immediate lah.
Yeah.
It's more immediate. In order to get satay, the product has to at least be 1 or 2 days worth. Okay, so now you compare. Now you start comparing.
Yeah.
Ramen and mi soto. Okay, ramen broth take about 24 hours to do lah.
Yes, right? Because you need to let the broth.
Broth sit lah. Right. Tapi to be honest, soto, I was doing soto. Soto actually, you have to put the chicken dekat dalam. You have to put the chicken.
Yes.
Okay, those people who don't put the chicken inside, play cheat lah. But, but I mean, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying there's a way to do it lah. So you put the chicken inside, then they boil. Right? Then the chicken they used to shred.
Yes.
Right? Then
Get the back out, shred.
Yeah. Correct. We Melayu tak have this attitude of straining our soup.
Yeah.
So our soup will usually have all the hampas, all the dust and whatever lah, right?
Yes.
But it's fine lah, you know. I think that's the authenticity of soto, right? But it's still a process. And this soto, we don't just end of day throw the soto away. There's this ibu that we call it. You know, the base of it.
Yeah.
We still use it for the next day.
Correct.
And that is like, you want to talk about the 100-year beef soup. It's the same concept lah. Like you use the ones the day before and it just continues to taste better. What is that different from ramen?
Yeah.
You know, KFC did say something about why is ramen not compared to like their Chinese cuisine. I cannot think of the Chinese cuisine right now, but why is it not paid the same? Why people going gaga over ramen,
but not our own local?
But not our own local food. So the basis and the problem is always the devaluing of it. There's this attitude in our Malay community that has already so far has really decreased a lot. Which is somebody in their family used to do it, or I can do this cheaper when I do it myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Then it goes to, then why are we doing this food for you?
Yeah.
You're at our shop and then you come out to us and tell me ni kalau kat rumah lagi murah, buat sendiri lagi murah. Of course you go to pasar, you know the price, makcik-makcik.
I mean, anywhere, even if you cook yourself, as long as you cook yourself, it's way cheaper.
Exactly lah, right? But we are always approached in that angle. And it should never be approached in an angle because our mindset is always about the cost of how much you make. But if you come up to a shop and you already know you're supporting the shop, which alhamdulillah now everybody is doing that. No longer seeing that group of people who say this is cheaper when I do it myself.
Yeah.
Then
Actually, that one very grateful for Grab, because we just
So unfortunately, there was that group of people. Thankfully, the landscape has changed and it's more about support now and understanding. And I thank Singapore for advocating hawkers and showing the life of a hawker. It's a very good thing that they're doing, and I'm trying to do the same. I'm not trying to go against. I know that there will be a pushback.
Resistance,
I definitely know there will be resistance, but I don't know how to get it across the line. But I know that we need this. You know, maybe it wouldn't happen in my lifetime. Maybe it will happen later on, but it has to happen.
I mean, like you talk about increasing the price of your satay to $2. First of all, are you confident that it is worth $2?
Yes, I am.
Then secondly, are you ready for that what they call it market creation?
Okay.
Because ultimately it's the same as yang gunting rambut. There was a point of time nak gunting rambut $10. But now $40-$50 is a norm.
$70 also.
So are you ready to be the pioneer to be doing that?
I can 100% tell you yes. Without any doubt in my mind, I say yes. Because I've been taking the fall for the number of years. I've been taking the fall for so many years. I've created something where the market isn't there. This is going out through the entrepreneurs here. This is the toughest thing you can do. To create a market which has not existed. To test the market to the point of success. Because you can test the market to the point of failure. Right? But you test the market to the point of success, and then you know what's going to happen the moment it happens. Somebody's going to look at you. They dah try. Kita bikin. You know, and that's going to hit you. But what it is that I've been doing that for so long that it doesn't hurt me anymore. Like, okay, fine. You know, I do. I make an idea. Somebody take. It's the cups. I started the cups a long time ago. I was the one who started the cups in Singapore. You know, I started the cup stick, and then now everything cups. You know,
even prata in a cup now.
Exactly. So I did that. The basis of that wasn't because I was copying. I wasn't looking outside. Okay, entrepreneurs, please, you want to do business that people have already done, also not wrong. Okay, but always try to be new lah. If the person sells satay or sell certain thing in a certain way, then try to create something a different way lah. Create that separation for your brand so people can know your brand. You know, of course, you need competitors to make the market more, how do I say, make people choose.
Interesting,
right? Then okay, fine, you know, but still, don't tell me it's not painful when you create something somebody take it. Please, it's not. It's just crazy. So I've created something people didn't know. And you're gonna be like Eureka moment after this. When we were younger, remember that we only ate satay from 5 onwards.
Yes.
Right? Do you know that you know that now people eat satay like morning got event, people already do satay, right? That was mainly my view. Was that I really pushed for that, bro. When I'm not saying before my time people didn't consume at 10 o'clock. No, I'm pretty sure there were a small group of people yang they know satay sellers. They just satay sellers don't usually want to wake up at 10 a.m. to do your satay for you, because there's a big gap between that time to the opening time, right? So they used to sell them by 2-3 a.m. in the morning. Who they're gonna wake up in the morning and then break their schedule for you?
After subuh straight away want to do everything. Nobody's gonna do that,
right? So it didn't make sense. But I told myself there's a big gap. If you sit down and look at it from far, of course, when you do a business, entrepreneurs, please always look for problems, gaps. So you look at the whole picture and you see that there's 5 to 2. Then what happens till this gap mana? Where you know, you only got 24 hours in a day, and that's not enough. Right? So how do you push your business to take that gap? So I asked you, okay, lunch. How do people eat satay in lunch? Paisi, got satay sticks at your table. You eating, your friend say bocor can see, very obvious. So how do we break that? So that I said, okay, fine, we have to package it in a way where it's okay to be consumed the same. It looks the same as a bowl of noodles, right?
Okay.
So I broke it down. I took rice cakes, I put it in a bowl, I take satay, pull it out. I put the sticks, the cucumber, onions, cut in a different way so that it's better presentation, nice. I put gravy and I put keropok. Keropok is like the best thing you can eat with satay.
Yeah.
That in itself is so I call it a meal bowl. And then you can have that at lunch. Right? Discreetly. Right?
Without your friends complaining,
Yeah.
hey, bro, you both.
No, like hey, you know, you open sure got smell lah. But like at least it is a more acceptable way because they don't feel that there's stick or satay. Then you got the cucumber onions at the side. Then you have to have a place for the gravy.
Yeah.
So I created that particular aspect to change the minds of people that satay can be consumed at a different time. Okay, so not necessary. Okay, I'm telling you, this product is not flying off the shelf. This meal bowl and snack bowl is not like our mainstay. No, but that was the product that opened the door to consuming satay at a different time.
Okay.
The market is ready to eat satay anytime.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, so that's how you know they are ready. That's how you know they are ready, and then that's how you push out. You know, that was how I did it. And alhamdulillah, now satay sellers are, whoever wants to wake up earlier, and you do because my satay, I tell you, some people 3 a.m. start ready, and then after subuh start to push out the satay outside already. That is to us happening more often than not. And people like I tell my friends and you know people eat satay so early in the morning, but I mean I'm happy that they do.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if I'm given a choice, I also want.
really, yeah. It's not a healthy thing, bro. It's not a healthy
Tapi
thing,
sedap, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
That's why,
It is sedap. I mean, if you want to reward yourself, by all means, but don't come up to me, please. Don't come up to a satay seller and say, hey, bro, can you make it less oily or less black or all this kind of stuff. You know what's inside your satay. It is the sinful, fattest, sugary whatever it is meant for a reward. You know, so I'm not gonna get on the health promotion board anytime soon. But I feel that it is a reward thing. You know, so don't ask for the crazy stuff lah. You know, I want it less, whatever. You know, if you wanted that, go and eat something else lah. You know, I mean, this is a funny part of it. Every time I face this, I don't want black. I don't want black. I mean, no black then not nice lah. You know, I'm not gonna make it black lah. You know, then how do you? Then it becomes macam boil. It looks like boil.
You need some parts of the satay to be like char grill.
It's impossible to create what they want in their mind. In their mind, they see it like this very lean piece of chicken or meat that is not. Susah. I cannot translate that to them. It doesn't work. It frustrates people at my shop also. It's not as if we're going to take one stick at a time and then just turn it. It doesn't work that way.
Okay, we're about to reach the end of the podcast.
Yes.
Ami, your last question.
So the last question, if let's say today you have nothing at all, you only have $88 in your bank account, how would you want to grow it?
Okay, so simply I'm okay lah. It's a bit funny. It's a bit of an oxymoron. I'm playing golf right now. Okay, you need money to play golf lah, right? so it's not that I'm not gonna have money lah. But let's just say I don't have money. I see a gap in the system where people are selling second-hand clubs, but they cannot get more value out of the clubs. But the clubs are actually still quite good. They will sell it as is. When they receive it, they will sell it that way. You know. I feel that with the $88, I'm gonna go to Carousel or whatever, get a very cheap buffing machine, and start a business to give more value to these clubs. Okay, I will have to.
Oh, that's an interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I've been watching.
It's like you are uplifting the second-hand product.
Increase the value. Increase the value.
Because I've been watching this Facebook, it has always been on my Facebook videos. So what this guy does is he buy a very cheap ass car, excuse my language, very cheap car, and then he will just fix everything and then sell it.
Is it on YouTube?
I
think this Matt something. That guy. He takes. There's this one guy who takes a very beat up supercar.
Yes.
And then he does back the supercar, and now he has like 10 supercars and a gigantic house. And wow, it's crazy. YouTube will pay. People want to see you do things like this. So at the same time, I'll try to monetize on YouTube lah. Basically, when I'm doing it, right?
So are you doing the golf thing?
While I'm doing the so basically, I see a market, two markets lah. One is people who already own golf clubs. They want you scrub this golf club on the floor all the time, so you want it to look good. And people who play golf are not people. I mean, now golf is accessible to everyone. Don't get me wrong, but in general, people who have more time, more money lah. So they will spend money to give it to you, and then you do it well, get back. They have clubs that look like new. So a kind of a maintenance thing, you know, you maintain stuff. People will pay for maintenance. People will pay to look good. Right? So I want to make them look good, feel good. I mean, there is a good aspect to it, which is if you play golf on a club that is shiny, your club is actually faster on the floor where it interacts with the turf. So
lesser
resistance if it's polished. So you get you don't lose anything by the friction lah. That's why you clean your clubs every time you hit. So I see that market there, and I see a market of people who are second-hand sellers who obviously want more value. I mean, they receive it like that. They always try to mark it up, but they cannot say that this one used lah. You can see the condition like this lah. You know, if you could do something where you can increase the condition of it, and then maybe to the point where sekarang customization, right? And these things are stainless steel. You can anodize ke, you know, and stuff like that. You do some etching and stuff like that, right? So these are the kind of things that you will develop into lah. And then Satay is a problem where you cannot do it overseas so easily. But I can create this brand and train another bugger overseas. And I can have this brand all over the world because it is doing the same thing. You know, it's really giving you a second life to your clubs. And a club usually lasts about 10 years if you know how to take care of your clubs. So there's a market there, and definitely there's. I definitely want to do that.
This is a very interesting idea.
So like I think Luqman don't have the time right now, guys. If you have $80 and that's all you have,
buy the buffing machine.
Buy the buffing machine.
Learn how to buff and get it done, bruh.
Well, very interesting. I think that's a nice way to close off this part 2 with Luqman. Of course, I want to thank you for gracing the studio, for sharing with us all the wisdom and sharing all the traditional business that you've already done with Satay, and how you're planning to uplift it and empower more people.
And how you modernize it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And for the audience, thank you guys so much for tuning in. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.